Welcome to Odds.com's continuing MLB playoff coverage. The LA Dodgers just put the finishing touches on a big 7-3 victory. Braves started out early, and the Dodgers, it was the Will Smith battle that changed the game. I cashed the full game over 9. I cashed the Dodgers team total over, and I should have cashed the Braves team total over. Was unlucky there, but I'll take it. Sets up game 6 and puts my partner, Nolly Knows, in good spirits. How do you feel about the big game 5 victory?
I feel great. I think everybody should feel great because or else I probably wouldn't be here right now. I'd be gone. No, but I feel great. It was a great victory. Albeit it was a little scary. I thought, here we go again. AJ Minter, 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts. I'm like, oh man, just throw anybody and they're gonna deal against us. And then they were able to turn things around. Like you said, Will Smith versus Will Smith action, and our Will Smith is better than yours, and he got it done. It was awesome to see, and we're still alive. And now a great game going into game 6, a game that I would expect that people would like to tune into, and it's going to be a great game, I'd expect.
It's very good. It's good for baseball. We have the Astros going to game 7 and this Dodgers Braves going into game 6. Let's break it down. We have markets out and ready to attack. Globe Life Field in Arlington, 74 Fahrenheit clear, 15 mile per hour sideways in. We saw the difference wind makes. When I watched, so for game 4, we talked about how I thought they were going to close the roof. I didn't understand the COVID regulations, and I get them, and they make sense. And it was an ignorant bet, and I was lucky to hit the over. In game 5, I had conflicting weather reports. You would go on to like RotoWire, it'd say 9 miles per hour. You'd go on to Daily Baseball Data, it'd say 7 miles per hour. But if you went to a Arlington weather on Google, it was saying 4 miles per hour down to 3 miles per hour. And I expected there not to be a lot of wind. And even though it is a deep ballpark in the outfield, I thought there was going to be offense there. And we saw the difference wind makes. And now we're back to 15 mile per hour sideways in. With everything on the line, I don't see how you don't make a move on the under here. At Bet365, that's what I've got up on my computer right now. The total's at 8. It's juiced to the over at minus 115. The first 5 is not up yet. It is up at some books. We have a first 4.5 up here. That 4.5 is at 3.5, and it's minus 115 on each side. The first 5 at 4, if it was available for me right now, I would be interested in. It's heavily juiced to the over. You're getting plus money on the under 4, which means it could possibly go to 4.5. The wind, Walker Buehler and Max Fried make me want to bet an under. I ask you this, Noli. With the way these bullpens have been hit, Braves bullpen now is a 4.53 ERA, 1.20 whip in the postseason. Dodgers bullpen 3.63 ERA, 1.25 whip. Is the first 5 safer than the full game?
Yeah, when we start getting later into the season, later into these postseasons, I'm always looking first 5 a lot more than full game because these teams are here for a reason. These guys, as much as they've got some great pitching, they've also got some great hitting, and they're looking to battle. They're going to have some great at-bats down the stretch, and they're going to try to score runs and try to compete. And here in an elimination game, as the game progresses, there could be runs. Typically – I always look first 5, though.
It makes sense to me. When you hear 15 mile per hour sideways in is the wind, and it's just not straight in, but it's in pretty drastic. When you hear that, do you think, how are they going to get runs? Both teams are home run hitters.
Yeah, not just the only deciding factor, right? So it's like that on top of what we have in front of us. Max Fried has been a stud throughout the entire season. And Walker Buehler, mind you, not living up to expectations, but still pitching really well in his own right. Here in the postseason has looked pretty good. Seemed to have the blister a little bit more under control last time out, and that was a good sign. So, I mean, putting together the pitchers along with the win is the factor here, not just one thing alone. And I think that can help us out. I always like a little wind going across, helps with the breaking ball. Mind you, the reason that there is movement on the baseball is because of wind resistance. So if we get a little bit more, there's going to be more movement.
This is a rematch of Game 1. It was won 5-1 by the Braves. Fried went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. Buehler didn't look as good. Buehler went 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was the 5 walks that stands out among the stats. 5 walks, 7 Ks. They both allowed solo shots as their only runs against them. And you mentioned Buehler's lingering blister issues. So let's talk about them in the postseason. Actually, Buehler had a strange year. 8 starts, 1-0. And 8 starts, 3.44 ERA, 0.95 WHIP, 36 2/3, 42 Ks, 11 walks. In the postseason, 3 starts, 0-0, 2.77 ERA, 1.46 WHIP, 13 innings, 23 Ks, and 11 walks. 11 walks in 13 innings. Why is Walker Buehler's walk rate up so high? He has the same amount of walks in a third of the innings than he did in the regular season.
I mean, yeah, it is a bit of a concern when I'm seeing here in the postseason. But one thing that I thought he looked a lot better in his last start, albeit still giving up 5 walks, but 5 of those walks coming to crucial batters. So in one sense, do I rather walk him than see him hit? In a sense, I would, but that is a dangerous strategy to deploy. That can come back to bite you. Specifically here, he's not that type of pitcher. 42 Ks to 11 walks during the regular season, so that's not really the type of pitcher he is. So, I mean that is a bit concerning. That is a bit concerning here going into this game.
And then we get to the ability to hit lefties. The Dodgers couldn't hit AJ Minter, but they got to Will Smith. They're now hitting 288 with a 950 OPS against lefties. Braves aren't hitting righties. They're just struggling so far in the postseason against righties. Freddie Freeman looks spectacular. Their lineup is strong, but the advantage Dodgers versus lefties compared to Braves versus righties, you have to give the favor to the Dodgers. But maybe I'm counting these postseason stats too much because, and I probably am. I'm saying that and I'm thinking, maybe I should pump the brakes there. Braves hit righties better than any team in the league during the regular season, 273, 852 OPS. Do you think I'm focusing too much on their postseason stats against righties?
I think when you're looking at that comparison, yeah, it's great. And when you're looking, I think more so when you're in a full season and we're betting day to day, I'm more so interested in those numbers. But here, more so with this pitcher, it's a bit different. This is not any ordinary lefty. Max Fried is on another level than most lefties, specifically this year. He's turned something around. And he's had a lot of success against the Dodgers, and a lot of these pitchers have had success against the Dodgers. So they have a great strategy that they're deploying right now. So, and then on the other side, the success or non-success, they're not all Walker Buehler. It's the same thing. Walker Buehler is a stud within himself, and he can throw really well himself. So, I wouldn't look into that too much. I think specifically. These guys versus this team would matter a little bit more.
Kenley Jansen comes in and looks good in an inning of work to get his confidence up. I still don't want the Dodgers at this price. I feel like with the way Buehler has been walking batters and he wasn't able to get off to a good start. He talked about how COVID kind of affected him to be ready to fire at all cylinders at the beginning of the year. And then as soon as he thinks he's starting to feel like he's ready to roll. He has the blister issues. I think that there's a slight advantage with Max Fried on the mound over Walker Buehler, and I think this is a dog or pass spot sidewise, and I'm going to choose to pass. I'm interested in that first 5 under. I didn't wake up early enough this morning to get the first 5 under in the Astros game, and the 4.5s were gone. As we mentioned, they were already at 4s. I ended up taking the full game. I would have lost them. Either one of them I would have lost, although it looked like that was the right bet. That's a different topic. We can talk about that in the Astros Rays breakdown. But here it looks like the betting public at this point is looking at the offense that they've seen over the last couple of games, and I'm not concerned that this is going to go down to a 3.5. Do you have any fear that this could go down to a 3.5, or do you think the most likely thing is that the actual move to 4.5?
No, I don't. I really don't think it'll go down to 3.5 because, like you said, the offense is. But I mean, I've been wrong before. But seeing that the number is more so juiced towards the over, I mean, I'm trying to hold off and see if it can move, try to grab that 4.5. So I'm hoping more so that the public starts seeing that. But I mean, who's to say? I see 2 great pitchers on the mound, and who's to say somebody else doesn't and best this thing down? But I'm hoping it goes the other way.
It's not available at my book yet. As I said, the 4.5 is. Is it available at your book right now? Are you seeing a plus line beside it?
No, I don't have a line on it. I'm looking elsewhere, and that's where I see the numbers.
Yes, that's the same with me. Well, I am going to make a move on the first 5 under. The first 5 under, I expect 4. I'd like to get that 4 plus money, and I'll take it at minus 105 if I have to, but I'd like to get that plus money. And at this point, I expect that to be my only move on Game 6 of the NLCS. What are your plans to bet this game?
I think I'm going to be right there with you, Jim. These are 2 pitchers that I really like tremendously. 2 guys that I've been high on throughout the entire season, and specifically here in the postseason. Max Fried's a guy that's come out of the bullpen a few times. He's got some experience in the postseason, and he's shown that the moment isn't too big for him, and he's looked good, getting a good ground ball rate here, over 50%. And on the other side, Walker Buehler, I was encouraged to see him using all his pitches the last time out. That was my main concern, trying to get rid of that blister. As long as he doesn't have that, this is, I believe, one of the top pitchers in baseball. This guy's a stud. He's got the stuff to be dominant. And if the way he looked last time, I think he can continue that. And good pitching is going to be good hitting any day. And I think I'm going to be right there with you. I'm hoping to get that 4.5. If I have to take the 4, I will. But I'm not going to be going lower than that.
Agreed. Looking forward to it. And the question is, will we be here Saturday night or Sunday morning? It would be at 1 or 2 in the morning. I guess it wouldn't be 1 or 2 in the morning, but we're going to want to watch the Astros game. So I'm not going to want to shoot before Game 7. But it'd be nice if we could have a Game 7 in the ALCS, a Game 7 in the NLCS. Great stuff, Nolly. Your Dodgers trying to even up the series in Game 6 of the NLCS. Both Nolly and I are planning on making moves on that first 5 under, and I'll take 4 plus money. If it's 4.5, I'll be very, very excited to bet it. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the subscribe button and also follow us on Twitter, odds110. Oof. I hope we're here talking Game 7, Nolly.
Hey, you're saying there's a chance. That's all I know. That's all we need. We need a chance, We're squeaking in. Don't leave the door open, baby.